Facing Our Reality, a teaching by Oscar Ichazo. Facing Our Reality is from We Are One, a training for unity, and the We Are One book. Both give us the direction with unity to address the massive problems facing humanity and the planet. With a united direction, we can promote cooperation, solve problems, and work together to resolve the crisis we face. Oscar states in his teaching that our modern world is a direct product of industrial and computer technology. Yet the energy needed for our ever-growing population has backlashed and become our worst enemy. This is more than just a threat to our future survival. It is a fact we have to address right now. A crisis of such magnitude requires the total mobilization of our economic, social, and political forces. But it would be impossible for the reality of this threat alone to unite everybody, because we all come from such different points of view, such as democracy, socialism, monarchy, oligarchy, autocracy, theocracy, meritocracy, communism, etc. Inside each block are separate interests that are the outcome of our basic conceptions of who we are and what we want, which in turn determine our economic, social, and cultural demands. There is a direct relation between our economic wealth and our aspirations as human beings. Because our survival is in question, we need people with real perspective. Not an everyday perspective, but a higher ethical perspective. We need those who are able to embody, stabilize, and apply the type of understanding that demands truth and reality at a higher level. For this understanding, we have to agree about what constitutes our higher ethical self, since this is what gives us our real human drive, which alone has the correct energy to orient us in the right direction. We must make it our goal to have as our point of view the highest human direction and perspective possible, as this is the most important task we can propose to ourselves. It is the most necessary goal of all, since it is the natural fulfillment of human possibilities and understanding upon an ethical ground that provides the necessary direction to unite us in order to face the crisis of the four killers in front of us. With the four killers of rapid overpopulation, uncontrollable pollution, incomprehension about nuclear energy and its dangers, and mismanagement and misuse of our basic resources, we are escalating to the most dangerous levels imaginable. A call for unity is essential now in order to make a stand together for all humanity. As Oscar stated in this teaching, it has never seemed so appropriate to say in the famous quote ascribed to Benjamin Franklin, "We must indeed all hang together, or most assuredly, we shall all hang separately." In today's terms, we can apply Franklin's words by understanding hang together as working together, and hang separately, which in our present situation means not reaching a unified front. We face the basic need of survival because we are already facing the four killers of humanity: rapid overpopulation, uncontrollable pollution, incomprehension about nuclear energy and its dangers, and mismanagement and misuse of our basic resources. These threats are altering our climate in unnatural, violent, and uncontrollable ways to such an extent that there is a dramatic change throughout the biological ecosystem. Though all living organisms will feel this change, the more evolved forms, especially humanity, will be very slow in adapting to the new environment. But in the simpler organisms of the biological ecosystem at the level of the microorganisms, the environmental upheaval will mean that new forms of viruses can emerge for which our immune system is unprepared. We must not forget that AIDS destroyed sectors of the world population. Unknown viruses attack seals in the North Sea. In H.G. Wells' book, War of the Worlds, the unbeatable Martians were stopped by the most elemental and unnoticeable living organisms of our planet, the viruses. Nowadays, our obvious interdependence with the environment is common knowledge. In 1971, when Oscar started lecturing in San Francisco and referred to the 4 killers in his lecture, a scientist in the Eureka School asked him, "How is the climate going to change?" Oscar answered that there were too many of us, and we each represented so many tons of garbage per year, and we all consumed hundreds of gallons of oil to sustain our cities, our industry, and our transportation. The scientist said there was nothing in this to justify these concerns. Oscar said, "Not yet, but soon." Oscar was saying that we have to achieve our cultural identity by finding solutions to the 4 killers of overpopulation, pollution, the dangers of nuclear energy, and the mismanagement of resources. We can be supported to address these killers with a common ethical ground, the ethics of unity. This will give us a united point of view in order to communicate and to address from a united stand the problems we face as humanity. The only way for us to survive on the planet is to be united in a common endeavor. This depends on a revolution in our communication. Not communication in the sense of technology, satellite communication, computerized innovations, and the rest, faster and more available than ever, but communication in the sense of understanding upon the ethics of unity. Since the teachings are based upon Ichazo's integral philosophy, all the fundamental principles of this philosophy become ethical propositions. These teachings consider ethics not as moral judgments of good and bad, but as an actual energy produced by the orientation toward our higher ethical self. The best way to communicate is with a common understanding upon an ethical basis. Communication means that all parties understand what the ethics of unity are and can apply them in their work for the planet. We need to remember that we are using principles and logic some 2 centuries old, and because of this, we are facing the problem of continuously fluctuating points of view from others in the situation with the planet. Consequently, many of the countries of our world, the US, Russia, China, India, Japan, the Middle Eastern countries, Africa, as well as Europe and Latin America, have little real understanding of each other because there is no understanding based upon an ethical ground. How we approach this immense problem is by establishing a common understanding of the ethics of unity, which gives us the knowledge of behavior. To face the 4 killers, we are proposing an advanced understanding of the necessity to unite upon the common ground of unity as an ethical force. These are 2 fully illustrated books that give a full account of the climate catastrophe we are facing. Please go to Amazon.com and search for Books by Oscar Ichazo. There is also the 3.5-hour online We Are One, a training for unity. Please like Oscar Ichazo online and subscribe by clicking on Oscar's photo in the upper right of your screen.